Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Our session is on philanthropy in India today. And we have three distinguished speakers to talk to us about this. Philanthropy is a very age-old, or charity, if you wish, is a very age-old Indian tradition. The Bhagavad Gita, for example, has a line where it says that those who have surplus but who do not give to the needy when they are in surplus are no better than thieves. And we, of course, in modern times, the Tata Trusts, Jamshedji Tata was a contemporary of Andrew Carnegie, Joseph Rowntree, all of whom were in many ways the forerunners of modern corporate charity and philanthropy in the Anglophone world, at least. And today, of course, we have one of the world's largest universes of non-governmental organizations. Indians are, despite a relatively low income, among the highest givers of percentage of people in terms of give to charity or to donations. 84% of Indians, which means a lot of very poor Indians, give at least once a year, even though only 30% give to registered charities. But it is a reminder that the vast bulk, if you wish, of charity, at least in terms of the people involved, are to the religious foundations and other organizations, which are not necessarily part of our normal universe of philanthropy. But the tradition is very strong. Both family businesses, large corporations, religious groups, and then even family, intra-family donations are extraordinarily common and taken almost for granted, I would argue, among all Indians. To speak to us both about what they see as what modern Indian philanthropy is about, and on their personal experiences. I have three speakers. Sundar Mahalingam, head CSO at HCL and at the Shiv Nadar Foundation. Preeyam Budhia from the Patton Group, and Sushil Premchand, MD of PRS, who's out right now presently in Switzerland. Preeyam, I'd like to turn to you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It is an honor to be at this illustrious event, and it's my first time at Horasis, and share this digital stage with such a distinguished panel. Thank you for the lovely welcome. In my view, philanthropy in any form is really a vehicle of social change. As corporations, it is our duty to chauffeur change in by not only taking philanthropy from point A to point B, but also to newer, greater, reimagined heights. And the why behind philanthropy is key, coupled with long-lasting impact. And I believe that true transformation is only possible through a continuous, increasing level of awareness at the macro and the micro level. And to that end, I'm happy to share a story about my philanthropic journey. It all began on a sunny afternoon. The first time I saw Geeta, or rather Geeta found me, I was 6 years old and doing something I had been explicitly told not to do. Climbing a tree in the backyard. I was lunging for the higher branch of the mango tree, and instead of shooing me down, she helped me up. And of course, immediately my new nanny proceeded to become my new best friend. After high school, I moved abroad to pursue educational and professional opportunities. After 7 years in the UK, I returned for good to join Patton Group, our over 4-decade-old family business, which manufactures water storage solutions as part of one of its many verticals. The first person I went to visit was Geeta at the village, where she had retired. We were having a wonderful time catching up when her daughter-in-law hesitantly walked in to say that they were running late to go collect water. Seeing the confused look on my face, Geeta explained that her rural village had no piped water, and hence the women needed to go to the tube well at the other end of the village. This took at least 4 hours each day. As I saw Geeta, her daughter-in-law and 2 granddaughters, who had to skip school for this, gather an assortment of buckets, paint buckets and jerry cans to set out on this quest for water, I got misty-eyed. Ever the firm but lovable nanny, kind of like an Indian Mary Poppins, she handed me a bright yellow jerry can and asked me to make myself useful. Moved by Geeta and her village's inability to easily access potable water, my team at Patton Group and I committed ourselves to finding a sustainable solution for transporting and storing clean, safe, hygienic drinking water. The solution was water on wheels, an ergonomic 90-liter roller tank with a tight-fitting lid and a handle. So how did our unique solution help? It improved water hygiene, it reduced the risk of neck and spinal injuries, it reduced the gender barriers by increasing the number of men helping with water retrieval, it saved time. Earlier, they walked nearly 365 days a year to fetch water. Now, it's approximately only 72 days. This has empowered several women to take up vocational courses and start micro businesses. The attendance at rural schools, especially that of female students, has increased. So my path to empowering rural women and children via sustainability projects has been paved with CSR based on the Social Entrepreneurship Model. CSR, according to me, augments, amplifies, and complements philanthropy, and it is both a modern and appropriate mechanism of corporate giving. It fundamentally redefines giving, not making it synonymous with financial charity, and focuses on harnessing and deploying time, resources, and effort, not just money, for greater good. And I also feel it concentrates on being charitable over giving charity. And it gives back twofold, not only helping the demographic in need, but also all stakeholders across the value chain, right from investors, employees to consumers, which boosts the overall economy. CSR helps magnify the impact of philanthropy. Because of CSR, I could help not just my Geeta, but many more. If this had been a personal project limited by my own funds or at the mercy of donations, it would not have been able to change the lives of millions. Legally mandated CSR in India is just the starting point. Organizations can either pay lip service to it by doing the bare minimum and donating the stipulated amount, or delve deep and ingrain CSR into their core values. The changing face of philanthropy is promoting long-term CSR to transform gatekeepers of wealth to creators of wealth. It's time to view individual philanthropy and a growing culture of CSR as the intersection of positive impact. It's time to create a sustainable triple bottom line, people, planet, and profit, fueled by passion, purpose, and perseverance. It's time to look beyond sympathy, beyond empathy, and build a culture of compassion. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate Preeyam on a very eloquent summary of her journey, but also on the whole approach that they've taken at Patton to provide these ways of moving water, which is, for all the reasons that you mentioned, the start of an interesting journey. And I think that your comment on the triple line really echoes very well with a lot of what's being said today. So my congratulations.
So Preeyam, would you like to chip in as well with your thoughts about any of the points that we've been discussing so far?
Yeah, sure. So I feel that the why of philanthropy, it's shifted from the socially conditioned obligatory done that we used to do in the olden days because of image and status building, or maybe for a feel-good factor, or maybe even for religious reasons, perpetuated by priests injecting fear into our minds to do voluntary responsibility, and that is now evolved into more like self-actualization. And earlier, the words that were used were contribution, donation, charity, sponsorship, because it was essentially only financial. But in the modern marketplace, philanthropy is fundamental to business growth, and it's not a cost of doing business. It's rather an investment in the community and the brand. And I feel that when you legally mandate CSR, what happens is that something which, as I said in my previous example, that is something which I could have done at my personal level, the moment it's legally mandated, it just, the whole effect amplifies. The tangible, the intangible impact, it becomes more scalable, it becomes sustainable, there's a structure to it. So I'm totally for the view that, this legally mandated CSR of 2%, it's something which encourages organizations to creates that culture amongst all its employees, amongst its stakeholders, to go and do their bit of CSR. And I'd just like to, share sort of my examples in this sphere, besides the Patton projects that we do, which actually comes under Patton Foundation. So mostly I followed the Social Entrepreneurship Model because I feel it's a scalable, self-sustainable, easily applicable model. And it's an excellent way for organizations interested in hands-on philanthropy to make a grassroots level impact, and also for value creations from scratch. Just to cite some examples from some of my CSR initiatives, which actually align with our core business values. It's built on the foundations of empowerment or Atmanirbharta and Health 360. And these projects have a personal connection. My younger sister Prachi is a special needs child with ADHD, low IQ, and bipolar disorder. And she really is the inspiration behind the drive to leave a legacy of lasting impact. My mom and I, our first foray into CSR was Caring Minds, which is an institute of mental health. This is a one-stop, affordable, easily accessible 360 mental health care solution for one and all across the globe. Next for us came I Can Fly, which is an institute for special needs individuals, which provides academic and vocational training to the intellectually challenged individuals. And our latest project, which is about 4 years old, which I'm really happy to share actually, is Cafe I Can Fly. And this is a cafe which is run by special needs students of I Can Fly. And this is a venture which I co-founded with my mom. It's an inclusive sheltered workplace, and it serves as a 24/7 awareness tool to break the stigmas and bash the taboos surrounding the capabilities of intellectually challenged individuals. So I feel that all of these initiatives, which are part of Patton Foundation, along with my foray into Water on Wheels, which comes under our sustainability vertical called Embracing Green, coupled with some of the rainwater harvesting projects which I've done across multiple states in India, we've always kept in mind to adopt we've adopted 10 of the 16 global UN SDGs across all our projects to make sure that every drop counts. And we began with one vision, but collectively we've been able to touch over 30 lakh lives over the last 8 years. And that is the part of CSR. And lastly, to end, I just say that we are on the verge of creating a global legacy of giving that holistically meets the people, planet, and profit challenge. We are at the precipice of a defining moment. And being a part of this discussion, it's been absolutely amazing with such notable panelists, and it's been an amazing experience for me. And yeah, these are my views on legally mandating CSR versus individual philanthropy.
Excellent. Thank you, Preeyam. Lots of, as you continue to give perfect examples of on-the-ground micro-philanthropy, which affects, as you said, in this case, 3 million people. Plus, it means now when I go to my home city of Calcutta, which you happen to share, I have another cafe to visit. Modern philanthropy in India will work on a huge number of levels. And it strains both individuals, corporations, and the government. So we still have a few minutes left. Would anybody like to comment? Preeyam, would you like to say something about what you see as where philanthropy in India could be going, or anybody else jump in?
Yeah, I just feel that, say someone, the way my grandfather, or like someone in their generation, or like the way my father would do philanthropy, individual philanthropy, versus the way, say someone like me or in my generation would do it, it's a bit different, because maybe like, say someone like my grandfather who's built schools and hospitals in Rajasthan, and in Delhi and in Calcutta and all of that. So it's more of a one-off intervention, because say he's earned his money, he has some wealth, and then he feels that, okay, what do we do with this money for his own goodwill, and it makes him feel good. It's a feel good factor to do something for the community. So it's a one-off intervention, whereas there are no KPIs, there are no metrics as such. It's just like giving that money off for the greater good. Whereas people in my generation, when I talk to people sort of in the 25 to maybe 45, I see when we think of doing CSR, we would like it to be more hands-on, as in it's not a one-off intervention. It's more of really being involved in terms of not just money, but time, energy, and then the two-way accountability, and really knowing where the money is going, and then having tangible metrics for that, and then seeing change happening over time and making a scalable impact. That's how I feel is the difference between how philanthropy used to happen earlier versus now. And another interesting point I'd like to make is also, in the olden days in India, and I think it even happens now, when somebody in the family passes away, or you move into a new house, there are like priests who come in, and then they sort of inject this in your mind that due to religious reasons you should do philanthropy, or you should do dam. You should give a certain amount of money, or you should give away these materialistic things, because this will sort of make you lead a better quality of life, or things like that. So I just feel that this is how it used to be earlier, but as everyone's becoming more conscious and more aware, these things are going away. And now it's about doing what you want with your own money. It's freedom of choice for everyone.
Well, we've come to the end of the session, but I think what Preeyam, you point out is really that the issue remains that whether you were doing it in the original temple or you're doing it in a modern corporate situation, you still want to have trust in what's going on here. That remains universal. Well, thank you all of you for this joining us in this panel discussion, and hopefully we'll meet again. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the comments, and look forward to keeping in touch in some manner.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.